What's up, YouTube? Happy Saturday. CHF here, bringing you another episode of Coaching Handheld Football. And just want to say, guys, I've got a ton of comments where you guys are blaming me for what happened yesterday. This is not what I called for. So I'm going to show you these guys. We've got two new offensive linemen legends. We've got an offensive tackle and an offensive guard, Walter Jones and Will Shields. Honestly, I'm not overly impressed by either of them. We've got Micah Hyde as the tournament boss, really expensive, 300 trophies. I think that's going to take like a really long time to get. Not sure what they're doing. Case Keenum, definitely not a good card. If I grind for him, it's really just going to be for the trophies. And we still have the Pro Bowl voting. So we're going to go ahead and kick off these drives, guys. But if you think that this is what I called for, go back and watch my Coinpocalypse video again. It's not what I called for. I called for a solution that would result in the death of coin selling, but not one that would make it hard for sniping and investing. In my model, sniping and investing would still exist. Granted, not the super low snipes. But today I'm going to talk about what we found out from the auction house so far. There's a ton of speculation over on Mutthead and a bunch of other things, and I don't really dabble in that stuff that I don't know for sure. So we're going to go with Tripp's Corner Strike here. I'm still going to coach through the drives, but then we're going to really talk about what I know about the auction house. So here we go. We're going to dump it off to the slot receiver, since he was left unguarded. And then we're going to go with Tripp's tight end halfback counter, where we get a 4-3 zone coverage, which is a little strange on second down. But we're going to go with spread FL drag, potentially countered here, guys. And I'm actually going to hit Hill here. Hill was open. He's the guy who's open if the tight end is ever covered. We're going to go with spread PA outs. Against this coverage, we're just going to go to wide receiver 1 on his out route. And he can't catch it. So we are going to go with a bunch dive here, potentially countered since this is counter formation again. And brings up another third down, 3rd and inches. We are going to go with Tripp's tight end quick slants. We're going to expect a curl route here. Or actually, nope, that's an out route. He was in man coverage, but he can't catch it anyway. 4th and inches. We are going to get fullback flare. We get goal line coverage. And it's just like a goal line play. We're going to lob it out to our fullback. And look at this, with room to run. Let's see if we can truck this guy. Look at that. We get the truck. We get a miss. And we take that one to the house. 6 points on the day. We're going to go with bunch spacing. Potentially countered here. Yep, it's countered. So we scramble. We loop around. And we are in for 8 points. So the guys who think that I caused this, one, you're giving me way more clout than I have. I have 3,600 subs roughly, guys. I do not have the power to influence Electronic Arts decisions. I'm not a game changer. I'm not an employee. And for you to think that I made some kind of influence on EA is a little mind-blowing to me, especially when the system appears to be very similar to what EA has already been using in FIFA Mobile for over a year, okay? So they didn't follow my model. Go back and watch my model. They did not follow my model. There were some similarities between my model and what they did, but that's because those similarities already existed in the form of the way FIFA's auction house works. I had some similar things. There's some things about it that I thought were good. And it works, quite frankly. It works to shut down coin selling, and you'll see all the other YouTubers talking about that. It's kind of a dead issue for now, for somewhat. There's a little bit more, but we'll talk a little bit more about that. And then I hope to never have to talk about coin selling ever again. We're going to go Tripp's Corner Strike once again. We got one-on-one coverage here, and we lob it up. It was actually a little bit of a risky throw, but thankfully his guy did not jump 20 feet in the air. We're going to go spread PA outs once again, hoping for cover 2. We get cover 3, so we're just going to hit Crabtree, and we're up past midfield. And you know what, guys? I'm going to use plays. If you're new to my channel, I've walked through all of these plays in the past. I will walk through them again, but I think I don't want to make this video super long, so I'm just going to talk through the drives, guys, and go from there. So I had nothing to do with that. I think my model would have been more friendly, but here's what we know, guys. Some guys are acting like it's the end of the world, and it isn't. If it was, nobody would be rich in FIFA. But this auction house system can be worked for profit. It's just going to have smaller margins. You can't buy an elite for 150 coins and then sell it for 100,000. So yes, the days of those kinds of snipes are over. So RIP to the botters. Sorry, RIP to the botters. Botting, I'm very much against. Have no sympathy for the bots. The finger snipers who occasionally would maybe get lucky and beat the bots, I don't think you really got lucky all that much on those super easy snipes or those super profitable snipes. But, you know, if you did, I'm sorry, that's over. Blame the coin sellers. They're the reason that this action was taken. If coin selling didn't exist, we would still have an auction house that was the exact same as it always has been. But at the end of the day, EA got tired of people stealing from them. I can't blame them. What company wouldn't get tired of people stealing from them each and every day? So they stopped people from stealing from them. But guys, this new auction house, there's a lot of speculation. And I want to tell you the things that I have been able to find out so far. Because we've been doing a bunch of testing, and I don't have concrete, formal stuff. But here's what I know. Some people have suggested that everything is just bought by EA and sold by EA, and that it's only EA involved in transactions. And to some degree, that's right, but it's missing some very, very key factors. Okay, so for you older guys in my audience, think of it as a market maker in the stock market, okay? EA is acting as a market maker with their bots. So basically, at any given time, they're buying and they're selling. But what market makers do is they line up buyers and sellers and act as an intermediary between them. So while they're constantly buying stuff and constantly selling stuff, they are trying to minimize their own personal risk of involvement so that they don't get caught and take big losses in their market-making activity. That's what the bot and the algorithm behind this is likely doing. So there are some things that you need to know. You cannot post something for a massively high price or a massively low price and have your item appear anywhere. So try it. Go out there. List an elite card or a gold card for 101 coin, buy it now, 100 coin bid. It will not sell. No one will be able to buy it. And I'm going to stop there and we're just going to talk. No one will be able to buy it. Similarly, go list it for 100 million coins. It won't show. No one can buy it. That's just the reality of the way it works. Now, when you look in the auction house, you'll tend to see ranges. You'll see ranges. Now, the way it is working from how I gathered it and what we've tested so far is that in order for your item to be bought, there still has to be a seller. So it's not just like you can sell stuff to EA and count on your stuff automatically selling at all times. Some people have described it that way, and that is not correct. It is absolutely not correct. What it appears to be doing is when you list a card, you may put some specific prices in there, and EA, what they would do, and this is kind of how market making works too, guys. This is kind of how market making works in the stock market. But what will happen is EA is going to plan to buy your card, but what they're going to do is they're going to list a different card, or the same card, but they're going to list it with slightly different. So say you list it 1 million bid, 1.1 million buy it now. They might list it for like 980,000 bid, 1.12 buy it now. Okay, so they might list a card slightly different from yours, but it's essentially a duplicate of your card. When someone buys their card, your card gets bought. So essentially, they're working as an intermediary, and what's going to happen is their system is learning. So it's basically learning from these transactions. It's doing that for a couple of reasons. One, it wants to hide your cards. It does not want you to be able for someone to buy your card specifically and know that they're buying your card. Because they don't want coin transfers, guys. It's not just about coin selling. It's about coin transfers. They want it to be extremely hard for you to identify your card in the market. They don't want anybody else to be able to identify that it's your card because that allows you to transfer cards and transfer players and do things that they do not want. They want it to serve as almost an anonymous auction house where people can list their cards, people can buy cards, and ultimately it's still a buy and sell market. It is just much, much, much harder to identify what cards are yours and what cards belong to somebody else. However, in order for your card to sell, someone has to buy that kind of cloned version of the card that EA posts. If nobody buys that card, your card is not going to sell. So you can't just try to underprice your stuff and just hope that the EA bot is going to buy everything. It's not going to do that. There still is a supply and demand driven economy going on in this game. In order for your card to sell, someone has to buy it. It won't be an identical card to yours. You won't know it's your card when you see it. They won't know it's your card when they see it. But if someone sees it and they like the price and they buy that card, your card will sell. If nobody buys it, your card is not going to sell. So they are not creating a system where you can just sell cards to EA. That's not how it works. It's still a supply and demand driven economy. Now, on that note, basic fundamentals of supply and demand are still going to work. So if you follow the traditional guides where I talk about, like, if a tournament has elite offensive players, buy elite offensive players on Monday, sell them on Thursday or Friday. It will still work. The difference is people can't massively underprice things, so you're going to have smaller margins. You're not going to be able to buy something and make a 500% profit on a single flip. Those days are gone. Blame the coin sellers. Once again, it's their fault. If they did not do that and were not stealing from EA, EA would not have had to do this. They would have not wanted to do this. They could have just left it alone and not invested in this system. However, they had to shut down people who were stealing from them. So they did. Now, beyond that, it's still a supply and demand driven economy. So if you see something that comes up on the low end, you can still buy it. You can still flip that card. You just have to wait until demand or supply, either supply dries up or demand is higher and they're being bought. But you can still make profits, probably in the 25 to 50% range now instead of the multiple 100% range. But you absolutely 100% can still profit and to some degree snipe, just not sniping as low as you have been able to in the past, but you can make coins in the auction house by doing this. So you auction house pros do still have options, and it is not a totalitarian dictatorship like some people say where EA is in full control. EA is regulating the market. They are not controlling the market. Supply and demand is controlling the market. EA is regulating and facilitating the market, much like a market maker does that for any particular stock on the stock market, okay? That's the way this works. There's a lot of other nuances to it. We're still figuring it out, but from the testing that I have done with my league mates, which includes some pros from both Madden Mobile and some FIFA pros, it is still a market-driven supply and demand auction house. I don't care what anybody else tells you. I'm giving it to you straight. That's the way it works, guys. So that's my thoughts on the auction house. There's one other thing, because someone brought something up to me, and this is another problem, and I hope I'm never going to have to talk about this again either. But coin selling is not officially dead, okay? Coin selling the way it has been done is dead. However, there's still the hackers out there. There's still people that hack, okay? And it's kind of like you've heard people advertising, hacked Madden cash and hacked coins. And it requires you giving your login account information to someone to facilitate that process. Some people do it. I personally think it's crazy, but some people do it. Now, I want to tell you why. Because I have a feeling, just knowing how adamant these coin sellers are, they want to keep stealing. They want to keep making money off of something they have no right to make money off of, because that's just the way they operate. I want to talk to you about why I think you are crazy to do this, okay? Because now that EA has destroyed their previous mechanism, one, if you give your login information, you can get scammed. You can lose your account, flat out, period. Now, you may trust a particular coin seller if you were a guy who buys coins. And you may say, okay, well, now I need to give them my login information, but if I still get my coins or I still get my cash, then hey, I'm okay with that. Let me tell you something. I just want you to think. Now, I'm getting a ton of hate because I kind of called this coming. Okay, I did call this coming. I told you this was going to happen. It was obvious to me from the way EA was treating things. I called this, but I didn't cause this. I called it. I didn't cause it. But let me just think rationally and apply that same logic that allowed me to call this coming to what's going to happen in the future. And I promise you guys, watch this. This will happen. Watch it. You're going to see these coin sites start to use this hack method. They're going to find out how they can do this and how they can facilitate it, and they're going to ask you for your login information. And I'm sure there's some of you who are going to be able to buy coins and buy cash for pennies on the dollar, and you're going to be happy doing that. I won't, and most of my subs won't either, because they'll realize, hey, I can win and I don't need to buy this stuff. But here's what's going to happen. Since the other mechanism is taken away, and you are now having to give your login information, and they log onto your account and they give you what you paid for, okay? You get your coins, you get your cash, and you come back and you think everything's great. Think of how easy this would be for EA to remove that mechanism, okay? We're going to walk through this scenario. Let's say a new site pops up, www.buymaddencoins.com or some weirdness like that, and they use this new method. Okay, and they're offering coins, and a bunch of people go on, they give their login information, this site goes in, logs into their account, hacks them coins, hacks them cash, whatever it does, gives them their account back, and they think everything's okay. EA catches on, notices, hey, there's a site doing this. Think of how easy this is. EA could go make one purchase, okay? They can spend $20 with this site. They give them their login, these guys go in, do whatever they do with their hacks, give the account back. EA can then just look at the account and see, here's our account, and it was logged in from this IP address or this device ID, the identifying things behind the channel. And then what they can just do is say, what other accounts were logged in from this IP address or this device? Bam! They just isolated that particular coin seller's entire customer base. They can then just drop a single targeted ban against everybody who they bought coins from. Bam! All of you are gone. Because when you give your login information to them, you are leaving a paper trail. You are leaving a paper trail tied to that IP address or that device ID. So if EA uncovers who those coin sellers are, they can, one, shut them down, and two, shut down all of the people who bought from them. It was much harder to do this when they were doing it through auction house transactions. So you run the risk of getting scammed, and you run the risk of getting banned. I personally think you're crazy to touch it, but hey, to each their own. I will tell you guys, it is still a market-driven economy. It's going to be harder. It sucks for you guys. In my Coinpocalypse video, I think my solution was a little bit more well thought out and would have been less of a hit to the snipers and the investors. But EA didn't go that route, which just shows you guys they don't listen to me. I had nothing to do with this. But if you like this video and still support me, hit that thumbs up button. If you're new to my channel and you like what I'm talking about, hit that subscribe button. If you've been with me for a while and I've turned you off and you want to unsubscribe, thanks for while it lasted. Sorry to lose you, but I'm not going to change who I am and what I believe in just because you guys flame me with hate. Not going to happen. I can deal with the hate. I'm patient, I'm persistent, I believe in what I'm doing, I believe in trying to help this community the way I do. And if you want to see what I drop, when I drop it, hit that bell icon to join the notification squad. I will be doing my live stream tonight at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you guys there. If not, I will see you tomorrow. CHF out.